Hi. Want to know one of the most powerful predictors of how long you will live? Not just how long you will live, but how well you will live. It's not your cholesterol level, it's not your blood pressure. It's something that very few medical doctors will actually check. It's called your VO2 max. When I was at the University of Toronto in my physical and health education program, they were doing some research and I volunteered and they checked my VO2 max. You put on this big mask and they measure how much oxygen you're taking and how much carbon dioxide you're releasing. I was going on a bicycle full out to exhaustion, to a point where you can't do anymore. It's quite the test. So that's probably why it's mostly used for elite athletes or very special clinics that will actually provide that. The number one killer today is still cardiac problems. The good news is you can improve your VO2 max starting today, and I'm going to show you how. It's something that everybody can do. No matter what level you're at, you can gain improvement in your cardiac efficiency. And it's not about training harder, it's about training smarter. My name is Ed Chiquet, and I'm providing today one video of my longevity prep with the Healthy Grandpa. It's all about living longer and living healthier, improving not only your lifespan, but also your health span. Because we all know people who live to be 90 or in their 80s, and for the last 10 years of their lives, they're not really living, they're just existing. This is something that I want to avoid, and I take action right now to make sure that my ultimate decade, my last decade of life, is a healthy and happy one that I can spend with my children and grandchildren. VO2 max is a measure of how much oxygen you can bring to your cells, and it's basically in how efficient your heart, your lungs, and your muscles function. Think of it like the size of an engine. The bigger the engine, the bigger your capacity for endurance and performance. The exercise that I'm going to show you today is called Zone 2 training. Zone 2 training is where you create the foundation for your cardiovascular system. And as I said before, it's something that everybody can do. I purchased this bike here, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, paid $100 for it. The best investment in my health I ever did, because this provides me such versatility to do a whole bunch of different exercises. You don't need to have this bike, but I'm going to show you the principles behind Zone 2 training. And we're also going to review the high intensity interval training that I talked about in my previous video. The high intensity is, go back to the engine analogy, it's like improving the horsepower, the efficiency of that engine, combining the Zone 2 and the high intensity. I'm really creating what's called metabolic flexibility and adaptability, meaning that my little engines inside my body that are called mitochondria become so much more efficient at creating energy. And if there's one thing that I've heard after 41 years as a chiropractor from so many people, the major complaint was, I don't have the energy I used to have. I feel tired, and et cetera, et cetera. This is part of that solution. And of course, nutrition is another major part, but improve your engine, improve the horsepower capacity. You can live longer, healthier, happier, have mental clarity, because this affects directly your brain. And it's such an important part of creating a happy and healthy life. So Zone 2 training, if I use this bicycle here, it's called an Airdyne. I like this because I get to use my arms and my legs, and I get my heart rate up so much quicker because I'm using more parts of my body and I'm moving a lot more. Basically, Zone 2 is when you're at 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. What I do is I just use how I feel and my breathing, and it's basically getting to the point where you can carry a conversation, but barely. You're having difficulty putting a full sentence together. You can talk, but it's a bit of a challenge. So for me, it would be getting to the point where this is cool because I know I have RPMs. So I bring it to that RPM range, And it gets me to the point where I'll have a little more difficulty. It's going to take me about 4 or 5 minutes to get there because I do have metabolic efficiency and adaptability. Been doing this for a long time. It doesn't matter which RPM level you're at. You just get to the point where you're having a difficult time carrying a conversation and your breathing is a bit labored. That's it. You're in zone 2. The idea is you need to stay there, ideally, for at least 30 minutes. Walking is great, especially being outside. Walking in nature, it's a great way to connect. But if you want to get to zone 2, I would encourage you to just walk a little bit faster. You need to challenge your body a bit more to get to that metabolic efficiency and adaptability. Because your mitochondria are responsible to produce the energy. So you need to challenge it to be able to get that improvement in your body. And the great thing about the human body is this power of adaptability. When you challenge it, it will improve and get better. And don't expect miracles to happen overnight. What I'm talking about here is a way of life. It's something you need to do for years and for decades and get in the habit of doing that. Because VO2 max, as soon as we hit 30, it declines 10% per decade. And after 50, 60, it declines even more. However, that decline can be reversed and it can be reduced significantly by exercising, by doing this kind of exercise. You can actually prevent premature aging. Because when we're talking about a low VO2 max, it's something that's related to aging a lot faster than you should. There's a direct correlation between your cardiac health, how efficient you are, with your capacity to age. They found that people who are in the top 25 percentile in the VO2 max, they had, get this, 500% less mortality rate compared to people who are in the lower level of the VO2 max. Zone 2 training is where you're improving the efficiency of your cardiovascular system, that foundation, the size of your engine, to allow better endurance and performance of the human body and to prevent premature aging and all the degenerative diseases that are associated with that, whether it's dementia, diabetes, arthritis, heart conditions, decreased energy, loss of focus, concentration, all these things that we tend to equate with aging. You can prevent all of that. At some point, we're all going to die, as I mentioned before. However, why not maximize your potential to live truly the way you would like to be in full independence? Because this is an investment in your future. It's an investment in your performance. It's an investment in your capacity to be at your best, not just physically, but also mentally. Today, the increase in Alzheimer's, dementia, people live in fear, wondering, wow, one day am I going to lose my mind, lose my memory? Is that what I'm going towards? We can't predict the future, but we sure as heck can help improve our situation today to minimize the possibility of having these conditions later on in life. So I will do this for about 30 minutes, and once or twice a week, I will do what's called high intensity interval training, which I've talked about in previous video, but I want to demonstrate what it means on the bicycle here when I do that. I know my RPMs, so we'll go to a higher RPM. It'll be something like this for me, in this range here, and I do this for 30 seconds, a minute. That's one of them I'll do. The other one, at a higher intensity again, but a little bit less RPM than what I just did now, where I'll go for 3 to 4 minutes, where I can't carry a conversation. Then you take about a 3-4 minute break. When I do the 30 seconds to a minute, I'll take a minute and a half break. The reason I do all this is to change things up. I want to increase my metabolic and mitochondria efficiency and adaptability. I think most people would love to burn more fat. There's two sources of energy in our body: glucose, which is called glycogen, stored in your liver and is stored in your muscles. Fat, stored in our cells. Usually it's subcutaneous under your skin, or the most dangerous is called visceral, around your organs, your heart and your intestine and different organs. That's the most dangerous fat. So the best way to burn fat is the zone 2, where it's called aerobic. You have oxygen. When I'm doing the high intensity to the point where I can't talk, this is called anaerobic. The demand is too much for the oxygen, so you get to exhaustion. Going back to people walking on a treadmill or going for a walk, you can have a major impact on your fat burning capacity by just increasing your pace a little bit more. Just feel your heart rate going up and get to the point where you're breathing a little bit harder. Then that'll increase your fat burning furnace. Just to recap then, VO2 max is the best predictor of how long and how well you're going to live. If you include 30, 40 minutes of this kind of exercises, whether you're walking, whether you're cycling, swimming, any activity where you get your heart rate up to a certain degree and you have a little difficulty speaking, maintain that for 30, 40 minutes. You're getting an awesome workout if you do that 3 times a week. You're going to notice changes in a few months. You're going to feel so much more energy, mental clarity, focus. You'll sleep better. It's a very small price to pay for the advantages it gives you. And it's never too late and it's never too early to start doing this. For those of you who want to rewrite your story, reclaim your life, Longevity Prep with the Healthy Grandpa is all about getting that mindset, that inner story where you are taking action to improve your life now and also for the future. If you like this kind of video, subscribe to it. I have a keynote presentation that I give. It's called Cracking the Vitality Code. Become the CEO of your own health so you can live your life truly at the level you would like. So cracking the Vitality Code. If you know anybody who would like a presentation, you can go to my website, thehealthygrandpa.com or longevityprep.info. In there as well, there's a free guide on how to boost your brain power, different ways using nutrition, using exercise, sleep, mental attitude, the story you tell yourself, all the key components that anybody can do to improve their health. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, share this video, subscribe, and next video I'll be talking about my nutrition principles. I gave phase 1, next one is phase 2, where again, it's all about creating that healthy longevity. Thank you.